Welcome back to the breakdown. Today we're going to be doing a special video, something that I've wanted to talk about for a while. How to get into college without showing your high school diploma, without having to show your high school transcripts and more, or without even taking the SATs, for example. I did that. I got into college without showing my high school transcripts, diploma, SAT, never took the SAT. I got into college, graduated from a state university, 4-year program in the end, with a dean's list, made it twice on the dean's list actually. So it's possible, and there's many reasons. For me, it was because I was homeschooled. Not just because I was homeschooled, because you can do accredited programs as a homeschooler and get a college degree. Many states allow your parents to give you a high school degree from being homeschooled, where they can supply transcripts and grades and more to kind of back up that piece of paper there. And that's great. That's all you need for many times. Other times though, some people don't have that or are unable to get it, or like me, maybe not wanting to show your high school transcripts. Now, for me, I went to a school for most of my year. I didn't graduate or start homeschool until right before I graduated the last 2 years of high school. Now, I did that because I'm dyslexic. And back in the 90s, dyslexia was not understood like it is now. Now there are many programs for dyslexic people and ways for you to excel in school. When I was a student though, in high school, they did have a resource room and things, but my high school had this weird thing where if you were a student taking advantage of the resource room, you were considered to have an unfair advantage over the other kids. I had the principal and multiple teachers tell me this. Luke, you're getting assistance from the resource room. That's an unfair advantage. You need to do our B-/test. So what is a B-/test? That means that if you score a 100%, the best you can do on that test is a B-. Yep. So a flat A would be a B-, a B is now a C is now a D, and on. So keep that in mind. I consider that very unfair. My parents consider it very unfair, and it caused trouble. Because I was a B, C kind of student. I wasn't excelling greatly in high school, but I was a B, C. But when you transfer into a B-/test, now that's a C, C-, and D grades. And that really caused trouble with my GPA. So when I graduated high school, I had everything done, and look at transcripts, even though I did okay in school, and my college degrees would back that up, I never really excelled, and it didn't look that great in my GPA and on my transcript. So I didn't want to show it because the transcript didn't say, hey, you know, this is a B-/test. He got B-, but he actually got 100% on that test, for example. So I didn't want to show my GPA. You may have a similar story. How do you get into college in that situation? I wasn't great on the SAT. I never took it. I did the practice, didn't do well. But there's loopholes, and I found one that worked for me. We're going to be breaking that all down. So can you get into college without showing your transcripts, without showing your high school diploma? You could do it. Now, first, before I explain how, do me a big favor, help us grow this new channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Hopefully I can help you. And you can help me by letting YouTube know you enjoy what we do here by hitting that thumbs up, by hitting that subscribe button. All right. Couple ways to get in college without showing your high school transcripts. Number one is to get a GED. I know people who have been dyslexic and got poor grades in high school, who had a high school diploma, still went and got their GED so they could just show their GED and not show their high school transcripts. Some colleges will do it that way. There are other ways though, especially if you're homeschooled like I was. I was able to dual enroll in my junior and senior year of high school into a local community college. With my mom acting as the principal, I was able to dual enroll into that school and take college classes. Why is that important? Well, I didn't need to get my high school diploma to them. I didn't need to show transcripts. I didn't need to do any of that. I didn't need to have an SAT. But I was able to build up enough college credits to transfer into a 4-year university without needing to show my high school scores. Now, each college has its own system. I find if you're a semester-based student, you need between 24 and 32 some hours of college credits to transfer into most universities that are state-level universities. Of course, if you're going into Harvard, Yale, very high-end private colleges, you may want to look into their own. Here in Michigan, I only needed to transfer 30 hours though another university in Michigan only needed 24 hours. By accumulating that amount of credits and knocking out my math and my science and some extracurricular classes to fill out my transcript, I was able to transfer in 30 plus credit hours to the university, and they didn't need anything more. They just needed an official transcript from my college. They did not care that I was a dual enrolled student when I earned those hours, and I transferred into a 4-year university. And that's how I became a Dean's List member at that 4-year university, how I did very well. Amazingly, suddenly, there was support programs to the university that did not require me to take a B-test. And my grades skyrocketed, my GPA skyrocketed. I know today that's not really a thing. Most schools understand what dyslexia and other learning disabilities are. They have programs for them. Fortunately, when I was a kid, that wasn't always an offered thing for me. So if you're in high school and you're being homeschooled, or that I find is one of the main reasons people go for a way to get into school without a GED, that's a great way to do it. But there are other ways. There are some colleges out there that do not require a high school diploma to join. One of the big ones I found, and I'll link to an article about this, is Purdue University Global. Now, Purdue University Global is part of the Purdue University. Now, this is a legitimate university here in Lafayette. Now, the Purdue University Global is their online school, and it allows you to enroll and take classes online and earn credit hours that way. Now, they have programs for people without college degrees, without GEDs, and more. That's a great way to do it. You can, again, stock up credits and maybe just graduate from Purdue University through that program, or transfer into an in-person school. You want to do your own research on that. Check out the link down below to find out about how to get into Purdue University Global, which, again, slightly different than Purdue. Many schools have a in-person university and then an online-only university. And that's what Purdue does here. So Purdue University Global is their online-only. Little different system, little different information, but it's the same education you'll get from their online for Purdue University. The other way is if you're older and you're trying to get back in it, honestly, getting that GED may be something you want to consider doing. Even if you weren't great at school, you'd be amazed. There are a lot of community colleges, a lot of programs, which will help you get your GED. If you're unable to do, for example, the dual enrollment to get into college that way, if maybe you're struggling, you don't want to do online through something like Purdue Global and you want to do in-person, I understand that. Online is not the best way for me. I preferred in-person classes through college. I did some online though. It is many great ways to do it. So you may want to look in getting your GED. This may sound weird, but it's easier, I think, than you would think. A lot of people, I think, have this expectation that I'm going to need to have calculus and all this known. And looking through GEDs, I didn't do it, but looking through it, talk to people who have, it's actually surprisingly easy to get your GED, and especially when you do it through a program like a community college that's offering it, because they will walk you through refreshers on exactly what's on that test. They'll walk you through layer of everything you need to know for that test. As opposed to high school where you're learning all these random things that don't necessarily end up on the test. These classes are very precise, very focused on the test and giving you what you need to know. So keep that in mind. Quick recap, a couple ways to do it. Number one is if you're still a high schooler and you're being homeschooled and you're worried about not having a real transcript, maybe you're doing an unaccredited homeschool program, maybe you're worried what people will think if you show them a transcript just from your parents out there, you may want to look at getting dual enrollment. In my area, there are actually now a couple colleges that offer free dual enrollment to homeschoolers here, where you can for free go to college there, earn the credits, and then transfer. I have a friend's kid who did that recently. I did a similar program, though we paid through the community college in my area. It's a great way. Number two is to look at schools like Purdue Global University. Link in the show notes to an article about this. You're going to have to talk to them for exactly what they will need. But they do have programs for students that do not have a GED or high school diploma to show them and help them get through college. And lastly, really do consider that GED. It's as good as a high school diploma. At most universities, they don't care. And it's a great way to do it. Lastly, I didn't want to start off with this, but I do want to mention this. Why do you want to go to college? there are many schools out there, many trade schools with great programs out there that will help you get your education you need to make a very good high income job, whether it be a plumber, electrician. A lot of these don't necessarily need a college degree. They help, but there are great ways to get education without needing to go to a university through a trade school. And let's be honest, the demand for plumbers and more are very high. The pay is actually pretty good, and in some cases better than what you'll get with a college degree. So keep that in mind. You know, what's your goal here? For me, I wanted a college degree because the field I wanted needed it. And it definitely has helped me. So I went my route. I did the dual enrollment, earned enough credits. When I graduated high school, I just transferred my credits as a transfer student, not as a high school student, into a 4-year college program through a state college here in Michigan and got my degree. So keep that in mind. Let me know, have you gone through this? Do any of those 3 ways work for you? And maybe, hey, why do I really want to go to college? Maybe I want to go get a trade school, plumber, carpenter, electrician, and more. Very good jobs out there to earn a lot of money doing that kind of work also. So I hope this helped you. If you're new here, do me a big favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and let us know. Did we help you? I hope we did. We really appreciate it.